Hi everybody, it's Az here from Heel vs Babyface. Now this is a moment that I have been looking forward to for a long while, and so far I've brought you 11 of the raid bosses so far. Actually, I might not have done Nazgrim. Anyway, 10 or 11 of the raid bosses so far in the Siege of Orgrimmar. So I'm going slightly out of sync here, and instead of doing the Siege dude and then the Paragons of the Klaxi, I'm going straight to Garrosh. I've got to show you Garrosh because it happened today. And I'm going to go through the tactics of the fight as well. But I'm going to go through the tactics as a layperson. Instead of just saying, right, he does this ability that does this damage, does that ability that does etc, etc, etc. So you get a good idea of what's going on. Now, we set up 3 markers. You see we've got the green marker, the purple marker, and the yellow marker. The green and the purple markers are what we're going to be bouncing between in Phase 1. And the yellow one is where Garrosh is going to be tanked in Phase 2. So first things first, in this phase, which is Phase 1, he's got 180 million health and we're burning him down. He calls adds to his aid and he also throws down his desecrated weapon. Burn down the adds. When he throws down the desecrated weapon, move to the other marker and then just do a little bit of DPS on it. The more damage it takes, the smaller the radius of effect. But if you get caught in that radius of effect, then it'll deal 150 odd K damage per tick of it. So that's why you don't want to be stood around that area. And then also, every so often, when the adds come in, you'll get some engineers going to the sides and they'll get that big spiky ball, technical term, that goes across. And you've got to pick the side. You've got to make sure you know which side it's going to and therefore be at the other side on the other marker. Because if you get hit by the ball, it does colossal damage and you can use it to actually defeat the Korkron guards. And you've got Warbringers, which are just basically grunts that'll hamstring you. And then you've got the dudes on the wargs and they'll heal. So you've got to make sure that they are interrupted when they try and do that kind of thing. Now, when he hits 10%, he will phase. And when he phases, we'll go into Phase 2 and he'll drag you into the world of Ysaraj. Now, this one, because it'll be random, is the Terrace of Endless Spring version. Don't DPS the adds. The reason why the health's going down is that's the tanks. Let the tanks grab them. You don't touch them. Bring them right to the top here. Then you can AoE them right down. When they die, they'll drop these shimmering balls on the floor. Try and get as many people in the raid to grab one because it will give you courage. And courage reduces the amount of damage that you will take by 50% for its duration. Now, he'll start to do this Annihilate ability as well. It's very easy to avoid. You need to avoid the big smash. You're going to take the residual AoE damage anyway, so the healers have to heal through that. That's why the courage is so good, because it's still quite powerful. But if you get struck by the brunt of the Annihilate, you're going to take like 2.5 million damage. Bye-bye. Yeah, you're going to get one shot. So coming back into the arena, into Phase 2, now we move Garrosh to the yellow. And the reason why is because we need to cause some separation. He'll still do the desecrated weapon, which you move between the green and the purple to avoid. But he'll also MC a couple of members of the raid as well. It's absolutely 100% vital that you get them down quickly. Once they hit around 25%, the MC will break. Don't use dots, just use direct damage, because if you don't, they'll start to cast and they'll mind control more people in the raid. Ergo, if you don't get control of it, then the whole raid will basically become mind controlled and they'll just wipe it. So absolutely turn your attention to the MCs as soon as they spawn. Don't be lazy. It's one of these lazy moments by people. Ranged, if they're in your area, you blow them up quick. Don't think somebody else will do it. That's why raids wipe. He'll also do this whirlwind that you can see. Now, in this phase, it's not the empowered version, this whirlwind corruption. So when he does it, stack. And stack so you can get good AoE heals going. Don't break, just stay all nice and condensed together as we are now. And move between your purple markers and your green markers, or whatever colours you want to put down to make sure that you avoid the desecrated weapon. And then again, just dot it up, burn it down. It doesn't have to go down immediately. Sometimes we have, sometimes we haven't. But it just needs to make sure that it is destroyed before the next one comes out, because you don't want the floor to suddenly start filling up with the desecrated weapons, especially when it's ticking for around 150k odd a tick before mitigations. So, as you saw though as well, when Garrosh went into this phase, he drew upon the power of Yusaraj, and he drew it from the heart, which is dangling above, so his health became exponentially bigger. It's like 469 million now from the 180 million that it was at the beginning. So in effect, you're kind of killing him once and then 3 times the once. So we're going to another transition. It's a minute long. This one, make sure before you start the fight, you've got organised teams of 2. So when you go into the Temple of the Red Crane and also Temple of the Jade Serpent corruption ones, you've got a team that goes to the left-hand side and you've got a team that goes to the right-hand side. Defeat your ad. If you've beaten yours before theirs, go and help the other team, because you can't hit Garrosh until they're both down anyway. And then we're back into this phase again where he'll start to do the Annihilate. If you've done it properly, then you'll gain courage. So we've all got the courage apart from one tank. Poor tank. So we've all got the courage or the faith or whichever one it is, or the hope, whichever the debuff is. But it reduces the damage by 50%, and that is exactly what you want, especially during these high damage phases. Again, don't lose your focus. Just concentrate on where the Annihilates are coming from. Don't worry about having to stop a spell or stop an ability to move, because, as I've always said, dead people don't DPS. It's as simple as that. Same with healers. If you just shift yourself out of the way, you can continue the heal. The other healers, I'm pretty sure, in that couple of seconds that it'll take for you to move, will be able to keep the raid up. Now, I got MC'd this time, which is pretty cool. So they burnt me down as quickly as they could, which they did rather well, I have to say, which broke the MC. And again, now we're getting the empowered, because we're in the next phase, the empowered whirlwind corruption. So with the whirlwind corruption, we were stacked for AoE healing. Now with the empowered version, we spread, because these minions of Yusaraj spawn. What you have to do is you've got to grab them, DPS. Grab 1 or possibly grab 2. But you need to grab them and keep them away from the boss. Because if they get to the boss then and they hover around the boss and you kill them, then they will heal the other minions who are next to them up to full health and also double the health. Or possibly quadruple the health. But the health suddenly goes from low levels to millions and millions, and that is what you do not need. So you get them separated as we are now. You spread out all across the battlefield. When one spawns, grab it. Grab the aggro. They're not going to hurt. They're not going to hurt you too much. They're going to hit for a little bit, but your healer's going to be able to keep you up. So make sure that the grab don't get to the boss and they're DPS down, and also DPS down away from any other of the minions. Remember, if you kill one next to a minion, it will heal up to full and also increase its health. We've still got the MCs, so you've got to be careful about them as well. As soon as the people get MC'd, get them down. Get the MC broken, get them back DPSing. And we actually lost for a split second one of our big DPSs. So the Druid did a combat res on them. Unfortunately, they could get back into the fight. They've been a very, very good DPS throughout the course of the whole raid. So just rinse and repeat. You've got your desecrated weapons. You've got the empowered whirlwind corruption, or the whirling corruption. And you've also got the MC. So you've got plenty to focus on in that. But if you have your focus full on to what job you're doing, it will be cool. Don't panic. So again, we've transitioned, and this time it's in the Temple of the Jade Serpent. So you keep your teams that you had originally, whichever ones were set to the left and whichever ones were set to the right. Blow up your ads, move on, and then we can see Garrosh over yonder absorbing the energy from the heart of Yusaraj. So no problems here at all. These ads were actually surprisingly really, really easy to burn down. We've all got the debuff, apart from, I think, a hunter or two. A couple of hunters. Oh, poor things. And the druid and the priest. But most people have got the debuff, which actually protects us. So there's no bad thing getting the hope or getting the courage or whichever one it is. But yeah, having the damage reduced by 50% in this phase is absolutely fantastic. Especially, see, even the AoE phase here, you can see he's hitting me for 100k, 72k. Just imagine if you get hit by the Annihilation, which is hitting for 2.5 million. So now we're pretty much going to go into the final phase. But if you're zapped into one of the realms of Yasiraj while ads were present, as we were, when you get put back down, everything will be as it was. Okay? So there will still be ads there. The desecrated weapon will still be there. It's as if time stood still here in the battleground. So you've got to be very careful when you get back in, not to just get, you know, blinkered into DPSing on Garrosh. You know, you've got to think about what was out there. Were some ads there? I need to stop the ads from getting to the boss. I need to stop the ads from getting near each other. Was there a desecrated weapon? That needs to go down, etc., etc. As we come to the fourth and the final phase, as Garrosh drags as much energy out of the heart of Yasiraj as he possibly can. We've got the MCs, and more empowered MCs this time. So they had additional health added to them. Get them down quick. And we have the empowered desecrated weapon. The difference between a desecrated weapon and an empowered version is you can't kill the empowered version. It's indestructible. So even if you DPS it, it will just regenerate its health over time. So although you can shrink it, it will start to expand again. So don't waste, you know, don't waste your time trying to DPS them down. Look at the other focuses that you've got, which are the minions, which are the MCs, which are also making sure you still do some DPS. Now here was quite interesting, because we all split for the empowered whirling corruption. We got caught short on the MC, and I got MC'd because one of the other MCs was allowed to cast. But thankfully, because the raid was very coordinated, they managed to turn their attention from what they were doing and burn all the MCs down very, very quickly indeed. As Garrosh is down to his last 20 million, coming up near 15 million. We had a whirling corruption, but we decided now, focus on the boss. Burning down, burning down. 3, 2, 1. Defeated! And a couple of achievements to be had as well, which was absolutely fantastic. It was a wonderful, wonderful fight. It took us, I think, 4 attempts to do. I believe we wiped 2 or 3 times. It might have been 3 attempts to do. But we managed to do it in the end, and it was just so good that the way with Flexi, I mean, normal people that do normal raiding, 25 raiding, of course, get this week in, week out. But if you have been subject to the atrocity, which isn't Garrosh, of course I'm talking about looking for raid, where there is no cooperation or coordination, to get that element back in to pug raiding, it just feels so good for me. It just feels so good for me. And I did feel very, very satisfied indeed. 2 people in the raid got heirloom weapons. Yes, I didn't get anything. You saw I didn't get anything. But there were some good levels of DPS. Paul, I've DPS with him before. I've been in an instance with him before. He's got fantastic damage. And Magi, who's the mage that dropped for a brief second, he was fantastic throughout the whole course. So I'm going to leave you now, sorry Thrall, with the end cutscene. And I hope you enjoyed the vid. Please do like, comment and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook and Twitch. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
His punishment is not for you alone to decide.
I won't let you take him.
We have all suffered from his atrocities. My people, more than any other. Let him stand trial in Pandaria. There, we will mete out justice for all.
Look at them. Already they plot against us. Seize this moment, Varian. Dismantle the Horde.
Guardsmen!
Father, what are you doing?
What a king must do.
I will speak to your war chief.
I speak for the Horde.
Very well. The Horde has committed heinous crimes, Vol'jin. But some among you fought against Garrosh's tyranny. For that, I am willing to end this bloodshed. But know this. If your Horde fails to uphold honor as Garrosh did, we will end you.